welcome to the NFT Jungle. I am Emma, A.K.A. Nifty Meta Girl, and today I have Jaden, A.K.A.
Boss Mom 99.
And we also have producer Gabe with us.
Hello, A.K.A. the wannabe critic.
A.K.A. the dummy. Why'd you say that?
I'm just saying.
It's okay. I like it.
I mean, that is my user.
Yeah, it's cool.
But the whole team is here today, so we will go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to do our normal wallet update, project update, and then we're going to spend some time actually touring the MetaJungle Discord. So it'll be a great way to find out what all is there, but also have some helpful tips for those of you that might be new to Discord or really just don't care for Discord. So we'll help you make it definitely more of an enjoyable space to be. So we'll go ahead and get to our wallet update. How's the week been treating you, Jaden?
I would have to say it's been very, very good to me. So I actually had some things joining my wallet, but the only reason, before I tell you what they are, the only reason that they were able to join my wallet is because I finally made my first sells.
Oh, woo-hoo.
Yes. I've been in this space for a while now, and I have grown an attachment with all of my stuff, and I finally decided to go on ahead and pull the trigger and do it because I bought the Budverse that I was telling you about and the 8 Baby Club, or I don't know why I keep saying 8 Baby, 8 Kids Club, and I've been watching and I grew attached to them, so it was really hard for me to sell it, but I really did only buy them for quick flips so I could buy into more projects that I wanted to in the future. Mm-hmm. So after consideration and a lot of coaxing from my coworkers, they talked me into selling them, and I'm glad I did. I made between the two, I made about $7,000 profit, so I really can't complain about that, and it's also given me a lot of room to buy a lot of other projects and one-of-one pieces that I've been looking forward to and I have saved. So with that being said, though, I did buy into Sad Girl's Bar, and I bought her matching Skelly component.
Oh, fun. And so with making the sales, what did you experience for someone as a first-time seller from your wallet? Because you had never sold from your wallet before, right?
Yeah, so no. There was definitely some things. It was a learning experience for me. For one, I was not expecting to have to pay a high gas fee. Which after speaking with another member of our MetaJungle Discord, he was asking me about that because it's like a $200 fee to begin with.
Usually between $150 to $200 to authorize your wallet to be able to sell NFTs from it.
And if you're new to it, you don't realize that that's what it is. You're thinking, wow, am I supposed to pay this every single time? Mm-hmm. No. That's the short answer, no.
Yes. So to authorize your wallet, every wallet you have, if you have multiple wallets, you would have to go ahead and pay that initial fee between $150 to $200 usually. And then how much did it cost you to actually list and sell your item? Do you have an idea?
Yeah. So I believe my 8 kids, it cost me $19 to actually list and sell. And then my Budverse can cost me about $13.
Okay, so not too bad, huh?
No. And then the other thing I did learn is that with my Budverse, I didn't actually mean to sell it. I'm not complaining.
Full disclosure, huh?
Because it was a good profit, but I was just messing around because my 8 kids sold really fast. So I was trying to kind of learn the ropes, and I was messing around, and I had listed it. And I thought, thankfully, I had listed it high. So that's the one bonus because I didn't want to sell it. But I had messed with the price a little bit, and I guess it created another transaction. So when I canceled my transaction, I thought it told me that my 3 listings were canceled. I'm like, what the heck? I don't have 3 listings. 3 hours later, I got an email saying that my Budverse canceled. So if you list it, you mess with the price and stuff. Apparently, it creates another listing. So just keep that in mind if you're going to cancel. You do have to cancel all 3 listings.
So we are all learning, huh?
Yeah, but overall, it was a really good process. It was fairly easy once I actually did get it figured out. And overall, I'm pretty happy, and I'm pretty happy to have my Skelly and my Sad Girls joining. So.
Yeah, because with that project, there's several fun things right around the corner. Mm-hmm. So by having both, you're going to get the cat.
Yeah, so that was the one thing is I wanted to make sure the floors were really good for both of them. But I wanted to make sure I was able to get the Skelly too, so I did have access to their future projects and benefits.
Very good. One of those things, it's one of those projects that does seem to be giving back a lot to the community and giving you reason to stay involved. So.
Exactly.
Well, and I've had a very busy couple of days with my activity. Surprised I didn't. I always am like, I'm watching, but this was a big, definitely a big little past few days. But I knew that Riot Racers was going to be dropping. I talked about that on the last few episodes. But they were going to be dropping their drivers, which you are going to have drivers to be able to race your car. And then also they're developing other games as well that are going to be in the Riot universe, and they'll be using the Riot token. And so one of your drivers can act as your avatar through this whole space as well, which was a fun thing to keep in mind. And so this was the smoothest Riot drop I've ever participated in. I've mentioned before from the Genesis drop, when I bought my car, it was just crazy and manic, and all these, they had a lot of safety protocols in place. So they've made that, this time it was super smooth. You had a 30-minute window, you went in, there's plenty of drivers as well. There's 11,111 of these drivers. And the goal is they actually have different elements and different advantages based on their personalities and their different properties. And so there were 2 levels of female avatars, and I wanted a female for my car. So you mint them. You got one free with the Genesis car. I minted an additional one, and I ended up picking one up off the secondary as well. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the crew that I got. And the one that I picked up off the floor was because she had a higher driving skill set and everything. So, but they are doing a lot with Riot Racer that is really, really cool. I understand that towards the later part of this month, we'll actually get to start racing. It won't be the paid portion of the gaming system yet, but we will get to go ahead and have the ability to start practicing. And then come first quarter 2022, the full gaming will start.
That's pretty exciting.
So yeah, super top-notch crew. And yeah, I think it's going to be really, really fun. So that was on Friday. The reveal was Saturday night. And so that's always a fun part too, in that initial period of waiting it out and everything. And so reveal was really fun. Lots of trading back and forth after everybody found out what they were. But the female avatars were almost the most rare characteristic, males, females, and then what they call mechas. And I was so surprised in the Discord after the reveal how many of the guys were trying to get girl teams.
Really?
So as far as women in the NFT space, highly desirable in the car racing element. So
that's awesome.
It was really fun to see them collecting them, but the avatars are also awesome looking. So I know the game is going to be awesome. But that was a fun little thing that they definitely weren't leaving the girls out.
That's awesome. Yeah. And just throwing on what you said about it being smooth. I know it really was smooth because I was sitting with her when she bought it, and she literally goes, I don't even know if it happened. So.
Yes, one of those, you know how it is. Everything happens all the time. So in the middle of a meeting was like, oh, it's time. My 2:00 time is here. So got it done. And yeah, really enjoyable portion of the experience. So that was Friday night. Saturday morning, I woke up and was going through Discord and checking on project updates. And I noticed that with Brain Vomit, which has been a fun project, and they stay pretty active and positive, but they were doing this thing where the artist had created these hand-drawn doodles, and there's going to be 444 total, but they're airdropping them to holders randomly, 10 at a time. And I was like, well, that's cool. And was like, man, I always love that kind of, giving back to the group and everything. Yeah. And so I was like, well, that's really cool. And so I went over to General, and people were talking about it, and they're like, man, number 14 is fire. And I was like, huh. And so I went over to my wallet because I was checking on my drivers to see if they revealed. And what do you know? Number 14 was in my wallet. So I went back over and I was like, heck yeah, he's fire. Look, he's mine. And so that was a really fun, the back and forth with everybody in general chat was really, really fun. But so super thrilled to have him in my wallet. And of course, you have to go over on Twitter and share that and everything. So that's one I'll definitely hold for a long time. And that project, I think, will just continue to grow too. So,
well, because it's a 10,000 project, right? So you got, out of 10,000 people, you were one of them.
Exactly. And there's only going to be 444. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep, just randomly drawn. So that was cool. And then later that day, we had the Flower Girls and the Alpha Girl Club both available to mint. And so I ended up being involved in both of those projects. And I ended up buying one Alpha Girl Club off of the floor early on because I had not made it onto the whitelist. All those dance parties I attended didn't help me with my whitelist situation. But around 11 o'clock that that night, they announced that they whitelisted all of the women in weapons holders. So it's always cool when these projects are collabing and stuff. So when I found that out, I actually went in and minted 2. And I ended up minting 2 the next day because I really liked the project, really liked the art. And so I've ended up with 5. And then with the Flower Girls, they have been like one of the success stories of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the success story of the week. They have just knocked it out of the park, but was able to mint 3 initially. They sold out in 30 minutes. So it just went like fire on Saturday.
Yeah. I'm aware. I had family pictures.
Things can go pretty quickly. But I ended up with 3, and then I realized things were going fast enough that I was like, I'm going to go ahead. I think we were limited to 5, and I was like, I'm going to pick up a couple more and finish it out, but that transaction didn't make it through. So, but super happy with my 3. One is actually really rare in the higher rarity ranking, and the other 2 aren't quite as much, but they're beautiful, and the support for that project has been really overwhelming. So it's going to be exciting to see where they're going. I understand this week they're going to start purchasing children's art and really working in that vein. So it'll be fun to see where that develops.
Yeah,
so.
I'm really excited that you got in. She had texted me. She goes, "Did you get some?" And I'm like, "What? They're sold out already?" And because I had family pictures, and I was pretty upset. I was like, oh, "Gosh, dang it!" But I'm glad that she got some.
Things do move fast for sure. Well, and another project I picked up that went fast on Saturday was a smaller drop, but a few days prior, on Saturday, I actually had listened to a Twitter Spaces with Mumbot, who was actually leading it, and she was meeting with Mr. and Miss Muji, is how they're known on Twitter, but they're toy makers, and they had created 75 cards with a signature character on them, and they're doing these as drops. And so the interview was really good, but for those that don't know, Mombot recently came on. She was on Gary V's second Artist Spotlight Twitter Spaces that he's been doing. So first was Sarah from Women in Weapons, and then Mumbot was second. And so it was fun to learn about her from that interview. But so then then she came on as being a community manager and creator for OpenSea. And so it was interesting to see an artist that she was highlighting. But that's how I found out about this particular project. And then the next day, so during the Twitter space, they dropped 7 and they sold out immediately. But the next day I followed them on Twitter, and they dropped 7 more. And so I actually got one of them from that. So that's going to be the Mujuworld Tree Spirits, and they're super cute, but it's going to be something fun to watch down the road. But it was a 0.04 pickup, so it was not an expensive one, and one that I think will be fun to have. And then also, this has been like the lucky week. Yesterday or the day before, I got a notification that I won a Terracotta Warrior. So I had participated in one of their Twitter giveaways, and so got an announcement. So that'll be number 6 of my wallet. So I'm super happy.
That's exciting. It sounds like you had a busy week.
Very much so. You think, okay, I'm just watching, and I knew the 2 female-led projects were one that I was going to, or female-focused projects were going to be ones that I would most likely participate in unless I just missed them. And with Alpha Girl Club, they've been doing really well with keeping their mint going. They did go ahead and reveal early, so they've been trying to go back and forth on, how to keep the mint going. I think they're at 6,900 out of their 10,000 so far. So they did do an initial reveal for those that had purchased up to almost 6,000. And so I think that has helped them with people seeing their art out there and learning more about that project.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Oh, and the other that I did is I'm a holder of the Hobo, the crypto Hobos. And for this 2-week period, they've created pets, and you're able to mint them for free just paying gas.
Awesome.
And so for my 3 crypto hobos, I went ahead and minted their pets since it found a time where gas was cheap. And so now I have to wait. They're waiting for the 2 weeks for that the 2-week period of minting to reveal them. So it will be fun to see what kind of crazy, strange-looking creature is the pet for my other strange-looking creature.
I was going to say, I can only imagine how those pets are going to come out.
Like Pranksky says, the reason you support it is because you love the art.
Yep. Definitely.
So those are the different things that I've been involved with this week. And also a fun thing with Terracotta Warrior, through the process of having 5 in my wallet, that means that you get a free custom made artwork from A.K.A. And so in the conversation between winning and getting that, I also think I've secured them to come and join us on the podcast to actually learn more about what they're doing with History Maker, A.K.A., and then also to help with the launch with the Rich Simmons project, that Reflections, that'll be coming in the spring. So I'm looking forward to getting that all worked out and scheduled. So stay tuned. We should have more.
Yep, I'm excited for that because the Rich Simmons is already a project I'm looking at, but their past projects I know we're both involved in Feel Good and stuff. So it's going to be really cool talking to them about all that.
Absolutely, yeah, because they both, their main goal is to be bringing more artists into the space from real world to the NFT world. So they've got some great connections, and it'll be fun to see, learn more about what they've got going on. Yeah. So, yeah. So for project updates.
Yes, I have 3 that I'm looking at. I have a list of a bunch that I'm going to deep dive in, but I got 3 for sure. I guess 4 totally. I'm looking at Recur, which is only available for today at the time of minting this, which today is December 9th. And I haven't quite decided yet if I'm going to do it or not, but I'm right there. So I'll tell you guys next week if I actually did jump in or not. But besides that, as always, I'm watching Psychedelics Anonymous. I'm still trying to get a whitelist. So, Ventura, if you're watching this, go on ahead and throw me on it because I want it so bad.
This girl has been working on it. She deserves it.
I want it so bad. I just think that's going to be such a cool project. I'm excited to see about the real-world utility they have. And they finally launched their Discord, so that's been an exciting thing because up until now, it's just been kind of a whole mystery. So, actually getting to have some stuff to go off of and learn about it is pretty exciting. But besides them, I'm watching another project that's kind of doing the same thing. It doesn't have a name yet. It's kind of secretive, but it's TFG's project, and TFG is the market media manager for Ape Kids Club. So it's something that, for one, he already has a big following. The way that he's growing his community for his project is very organically. He's doing it through games and stuff, which is what Ventura did, which is something I really respected. But one of the really cool things about TFG is with him being on Ape Kids Club and them doing as well as they did, and him kind of being more in charge of the marketing and the media side of things, I have a bunch of confidence that he'll be able to create another community kind of as tight and as welcoming and as what's the word? Where everyone's more like, hurrah, like about their community. I can't think of the word.
Enthusiastic.
Yes, enthusiastic. And so I'm really excited to see and learn more about that project as well. Right now they're just doing Whitelist, and it's with games, like I said. So luck of the draw, which TFG, if you're watching this, I would also love to be on that whitelist. And then one that I found out about recently, I was super excited about the Budverse one. Found out about it very last minute. Was just lucky enough to get in on it. Well, Pepsi's doing one now too. And something that I like just a little bit more about Pepsi, don't get me wrong, I love me a good beer, but Pepsi's is actually free plus gas. Like all you have to do is pay gas. But the thing with it is that they're only doing a whitelist. And they're not telling you if you got on it or not. You just have to go on December 14th and see if you're on the whitelist.
Yep.
So, but those are kind of my 3/4 projects that I'm definitely looking at right now. And I'm hoping to get involved into, I know 3 of them for sure.
Very good. Very good. Well, and I think for this coming week, definitely happy to learn. And I know you keep us informed on the ones you're watching on. And those are some that I think are really interesting, that are on the forefront, and definitely have people involved that are very active in the space. So those are always good ones to be watching and learning from. And always innovating and doing different things. And so I guess for me, as far as projects I'm looking at, it's still continuing to learn more about one artists that we're having featured in MetaJungle. There are so many amazing artists that are coming on board all the time. And so we'll learn here very soon, later here in the show, but we have a lot of resources within the MetaJungle Discord community where artists can share their work and have conversations conversations about their work. So I spend a lot of time there researching and learning about different artists, and also, going to Twitter and seeing who they're following. And so that whole space is just really, really cool. And I like being able to hear the different stories and learn about that. So definitely a good focus for me on one of ones is for this upcoming week, most likely, and really just delving into that way. And then also there's so many things that are happening with all the projects that I'm involved in now. It's also, when you look at your Discord and you've got 200 notifications because of different things going on, also trying to stay involved and know what's going on in those projects. Like with Sad Girls, they've got a lot going on this in the next few weeks. And also Boss Beauties always has different things going on, and they've updated where they're not doing as much of a roadmap, but they're moving into being more of a small business. And them and also WoW are doing book clubs. I mean, there's just all these things now that are building up for the community. Just so a lot going on that it's fun to see new projects and learn about new projects and all that, but it's also really fun to stay involved in the communities with the projects that you own, because Brava's been doing a lot. So a lot of things that are just, ones that you get, there's a reason usually that you meant them to get involved with the community. So, and it'll be fun to see where Alpha Cool Girls and also the Flower Girls, with them being so new, how that develops and what's to come there. So lots of good stuff.
I guess on that front, we might as well also throw in a PSA, since I did just find this out today. If you're a Sad Girls owner, your cats are minting December 15th.
That is true. Yes.
So just keep that in mind.
It'll be fun to find out what all the characteristics are and how unique they are. And
yes.
Yeah, they've got a lot happening there. So, but how do you use Discord a lot for keeping up with your projects and all that?
I definitely try. I'm still new to Discord, so that's been kind of a learning experience for me. It's the best place for me to keep up with my projects, but as you said, sometimes notifications happen fast, and sometimes I can't even go back and find where I was mentioned or anything like that. So I'm definitely excited to dive into it a little bit more today and help other people, because we're just now kind of starting to get it figured out. Or I am anyway. You probably know a little bit more than I do, but I'm just now actually starting to kind of get the hang of things. So
Well, there are things about Discord that are so much different than your typical social media platform, or what, we all start off probably with Facebook early on, and then Instagram, and then Snapchat, TikTok. But so each of them kind of have their uniqueness, but Discord is kind of a different beast all in itself.
Oh, yeah.
And I think as we've been planning this and discussing this episode, it was mentioned that it's really not as hard as it looks like it's going to be.
I think it's just more intimidating, because with all the other social medias, you just have kind of really few basic things. Like on Facebook, you have a page you follow, you have your feed, like super basic, where you go into Discord and you have multiple channels, and then you're just like, wow, what am I supposed to do? Like, what are these for? And I think taking the time to sit there and actually look at them and show people is definitely going to help a lot, because I know even just planning this episode, it helped me a lot. So,
Well, and we hear that a lot, as we're talking with different people, artists and collectors, with ways in which to network and connect with one another. And that was one of the main reasons that we started MetaJungle Discord, was because we saw that, throughout the NFT space, there really wasn't a place that you could get together as a community, to actually gather as a community outside of individual project Discords and be able to hold those conversations. And so MetaJungle, the goal is for it to be a hub for all different, people of different interests, that NFTs is what unites them, to bring them all together and be able to provide resources for them to learn, to be able to have conversations to grow with. And so it's been really fun to see something that organic kind of take off. And as we go, we learn kind of what the needs of the community are, what the requests of the community is, and then be able to adapt and provide those resources. And so we'll dive into it a little bit deeper, but that is kind of the overall goal with MetaJungle Discord. So it is different than some of the other servers that are available, because it's not just, the followers for one particular project. It's people that are interested in all kinds of different projects. So the conversations vary, and there is a lot of information there that's available. And so I know it's been something that has become a normal, spending a lot of time in Discord is something that's been really normal, and that's kind of how you get your news and all that. So definitely, but as we been having conversations with people about it, we realized that hearing over and over again that, I know that, the hang up hasn't been they weren't interested. It's just that they don't feel comfortable with Discord. So just like I mentioned, it's pretty organic, and we're realizing that more people are needing that attention or needing that maybe a kind of a walkthrough. And also we want to show how MetaJungle is different and what makes it unique. So I think it'll be really enjoyable. Have some other highlights and spotlights and things that will go ahead that'll develop throughout the episode. But all right, so before we jump into our tour of the MetaJungle Discord, we're going to hear from a new team member that's joining us. And so she's going to give us some perspective for someone new to Discord, kind of give us an idea of why you would join, what to expect as you're joining. So this will be a little, for those of you that are nervous or don't like it, this will be kind of a good segue and feedback for you. So we're going to welcome Emma, A.K.A. emofarmer. And so Emma, how long have you been using Discord?
Oh gosh, probably only for like a month, I would say, maybe even a little less than a month.
Okay, and so were you aware of Discord before you got started?
I was aware of it, but I always thought of it more as like a gaming type thing, like people use it to get in a group for gaming. So I didn't really know that people used it for other purposes besides that.
Okay, very good. And so I would say you probably are pretty experienced with other social media?
Yeah, I'm very experienced with Instagram. That's kind of my main thing that I've had. I've been on Instagram pretty much since it came out, and I have even had a business where I sell things on Instagram. So I'm super experienced with Instagram. Facebook a little bit, Twitter I'm a little bit. I'm trying to get my feet more wet with Twitter as well. But yeah, definitely Instagram is my main social media, I would say.
Okay, very good. So what was your interest to finally jump in and start doing more Discord?
So basically NFTs, honestly.
Okay.
I heard that Discord was a place where people that are interested in NFTs are going to, learn more, to share about their own projects and just things like that. So really, I was just wanting to learn more about NFTs, and so that's kind of why I jumped into Discord.
So like many of us, huh?
Yep.
And so initially, what was your take on being involved with Discord?
Oh man. Initially I was super overwhelmed and low-key kind of hated it. I just really didn't like the way it was set up. It felt like a foreign language to me almost. It was so different than any other social media platform that I had used before. So it was just very overwhelming for me to just try to jump in. I even ended up watching a tutorial on YouTube because I was like, how the heck do I do this? Which it helped a little bit, but really what I've learned is just jumping in and getting your feet wet is what really just helps you to figure it out,
I think that's some good advice for sure.
Well, and speaking on that, didn't you have a pretty exciting jump-in moment in the NFT space in Gary V's Discord, or in a Discord?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, I joined a Discord server for a project that I was into, and I was just kind of trying to, say hi to people and get to know people in there. So I was like, hi, I'm new to this space, just looking to make some friends. And Gary V literally replied to me and was like, welcome. And I was like, what? That's crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. You never know, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
And so what were you surprised from being an avid user from other social media? What were you first surprised about with getting started with Discord?
Yeah, so I would say the first thing would be, if there is a profile that you are wanting to follow, say on Instagram, you can just go to the search bar, search for that profile, and find them and follow them. That was the first thing I noticed with Discord, that that was not the case. I even remember trying to search or trying to find a place to even search for like MetaJungle so I could get on the MetaJungle server. And I was like, oh, there's not even a place to like do that. So that was kind of the initial thing for me. And since then, I have learned to basically, if there is a server that you know about, like you know it exists and you want to join them, my go-to thing is I usually just go to that that business or that artist's Twitter account, and usually they'll have a link to their Discord server in the bio of their Twitter profile. And so a lot of times you can click that link, and then it'll be like an invite to their server, and then you can click join from there, and then you're good to go.
Yep, that is something much different, huh?
Yeah, super different.
I think all of us have probably had that experience where you're like, I'm seeing this on Twitter. I've heard about it in, spaces or whatever, and I want to know about it, but how do I get to their Discord?
Yep, exactly.
Or that just irritating feeling whenever they have a link and you click on it and you keep clicking on it and it says, this invite is no longer available. And you're like, I just want in the Discord. That's all I want. I want in it.
Well, and what else would be, have you mentioned that's unique whenever you do go ahead and click on that invite, what you experience?
Yeah, so kind of the next thing that I would notice is that a lot of times you wouldn't have access to the entire server, like to see all the channels when you first join a new server. So that was weird to me. I was like, how do I do this, And so I figured out that a lot of times, most of the time with big servers, they will have kind of a thing that you have to do to prove that you're not like a bot or like that you're a real person, basically. So a lot of times you'll have to, like with MetaJungle, for example, I think what you do is you go in, you read the rules, and then you usually like react to that post with an emoji, and it's different for all servers, but like for MetaJungle, I think it was just like a green check mark, and you just tap that, like basically acknowledging that you read the rules and you're a human being. And so once you tap that check mark, then you have access to the entire server, and you then see all the channels and everything like that.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, with MetaJungle, it's not quite as intense as it is for other servers. And that is something in the last few weeks we've seen a lot of different projects maybe adapting how they do that or adding in some safety features because there's been bot hacks and all kinds of various nefarious things happening. So just to make sure that people are protected. But I think those are really good steps to remember as you're new to Discord and things to expect as you go through, and just kind of being patient too as you're getting into a new server to see what all is required. So, and that definitely leads us into MetaJungle itself to be able to open up and get started. And what do you usually do after you get into a server?
Yeah, so like I said, at first, Discord in general was just super overwhelming to me. And so I was just kind of trying to like figure everything out, figure out what I was even supposed to do or how I could talk to people. But basically what I've figured out and what I kind of use as a rule of thumb moving forward was just finding that general chat. And that's where a lot of times, like, I'm not going to say anything goes, but that's kind of where you can introduce yourself and start to make some acquaintances in the server. So what I basically did was I just kind of jumped in to the general chat. Like I said, I introduced myself and said that I was new to this space. That's a lot of times a good thing to say if you are new, because most people in the NFT community are super helpful and kind, and they want to help newcomers. And so that's kind of a good thing to say. And yeah, so I think it can seem daunting and overwhelming to just like get in there and like talk, but I think that's really the only way to learn. And then as you continue doing that, you'll learn more how it works. And then from there, you can kind of figure out how the channel system works. And then you can go to other channels that interest you and kind of see what's going on in the other channels. But the general chat is a really good place to start.
Awesome. I completely agree. And that's definitely a good starter for really for any server that you're going to get started in. And I think that's a great setup also for our tour today of MetaJungle.
Yep, totally.
For MetaJungle, with being involved with the MetaJungle Discord, what have you benefited from or found helpful?
Well, number one is just making friends in the community, finding other like-minded people that want to help teach you. And everyone in the MetaJungle community in particular, I mean, MetaJungle is all about education and helping people in this community. So most of the people in this channel are going to be that way. And if you have questions, a lot of times there's someone there to answer that question for you. And it's just been a really good place for me to learn, like really just learn about the NFT space and NFTs in general, which was my main goal when getting into Discord. So I'm so happy, honestly, that I found MetaJungle. And yeah, it's been a huge help to me.
Very good, very good. And we hope that that is the experience that everybody has, because one of our missions with MetaJungle is to be that hub of information, so that place that everybody can come to and be able to get their questions answered, make friends, be able to kind of start figuring out all these ins and outs, and know paths that are good to take and other paths that might be bad to take. That's what we're here for as a community, and also to be adapting and having resources available. And so that's why we're going to take this time today to go ahead and do a deep dive through the server and introduce you guys to some of the different channels and different resources that we have. So we hope you stay tuned. Thank you, Emma, for setting us up and for what to expect as we join a new server. And we'll go ahead and get started with actually learning about what's here. So we definitely appreciated that feedback from Emma. Glad to have her as part of the team. And let's go ahead and just jump into our tour of the MetaJungle server. Sound good?
Can't wait.
All right. So as you can tell here on the screen, we have started on the welcome channel. And this is a pretty good place when you're coming into a server just to check in and see what is set up by the team. As you can tell with our server here, whenever you come in and say hello, you're going to be greeted by a video of me. So you're welcome to check that out. Each of our servers, each of our channels are typically set up to where you'll see a greeting from either myself or Jaden. So you can listen to or watch those videos and just kind of get an idea of what the intention of that particular channel is. So click on there. I'll tell you all about it. But these are also some different important connections to channels that we have set up for you guys. So this will take you directly to our About Us section. We can review some rules. This is all about NFT FAQs that you may have. So we know that there can be a lot of information for getting started in this space. A lot of questions that you may have about terminology or definitions. That's where this is going to help out a lot. General chat. Then we also have, which we'll go and visit our general chat section and spend some time explaining that. And then we also have different resources. We have some giveaways that we do often, and then we also have some information for newbie help. So if you're looking, this is kind of a quick link reference if you are wanting to find something specifically pretty quick. But we're going to go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into the server. So if we're starting here at the top of the list, this is where you're going to find our featured giveaways and all giveaway links. A cool thing to notice is some of these channels are highlighted in white, which that probably means that you have new information there that you have not, that has developed since you've opened that particular channel last. So if that, you can keep that in mind as you go through, that that's going to indicate that there's been some information or some different conversations shared since you last visited. So those are probably spots you'll want to check out. You'll also notice we have a notification here. So that means that you've been tagged either individually or included in an @everyone. So that's going to be information that you want to check on because it should be relevant to you. But if we check in on our featured giveaway, this is going to give us information about the latest, which we can see here that this was a invite giveaway. So that's going to give you any updated information there. And if we come down to, we've already checked on our welcome. we know our rules, but we're going to come in here to announcements. And this is going to open up and tell us that yesterday I shared some information with the community that we're going to be having a new class coming up this Thursday. Mustafa Aiden is a great astro photographer, and he's going to be teaching a class for the community here in the Discord channel. So we're super excited about that. We've held a few artist feedback AMAs in a similar fashion, and they have been really well received, both live and as a recorded version. So this is going to be offered the same. So if you're available, we hope that you're going to be joining us. But this is a great example of the information that's going to be shared. One of the differences with this particular channel, just as general information, is this is set up as a read-only channel. So you'll be able to see the information there, but not necessarily post a response. So there's both of those features within different channels. Ones that are set up as read-only, and then others that you can share information. And so you'll kind of learn that as you're going through different Discord servers. But that's going to end up being right down here, where typically you would be able to write a response. If that isn't available, it's even going to tell you that you do not have permission to send a message in this channel. So that's set up to be able to be more of an informative channel. But you can typically react to emojis. So if they've already been set, this is where you can do that. And that kind of just lets you lend some support. And then you can click on this if you are wanting to make your own. So we can go ahead and add to the mix here. And that's a good example of how that works. So we've caught up on all of our announcements, and we're going to go ahead and come down here to our next. This is a category here that would be our Get Help category. You'll notice that there's a little down arrow here. You can also minimize and open these. So you can keep that in mind. If you're looking for a channel that you're not seeing it, check and make sure that the category hasn't been minimized. So that's a good little trick along the way as you're navigating, that they can get minimized to where they're only going to show you a channel that has new information, or you can go ahead and select and it's going to give you all the options there.
The amount of times I've done that is embarrassing. Honestly, I sit there, I'm like, I literally can't find this channel anywhere. I asked Goon to help me, and he's like,
you and me both.
He's like, did you minimize it? I'm like, oh, yes.
And that's one of those things that as you're using mobile and desktop, it can look a little bit different too. But just one of those little tricks that we've learned from experience. But here it looks like we've had some updated information since the last time we visited. So this is going to be under newbie help. And this is set up to where if you have questions that are relevant either to Discord or the NFT space, you're welcome to share, post a question here. If you're wanting to reach one of the members of the Discord server, such as myself, BossMom99, Goon, you can go ahead and type that in here to where you're actually going to @ them. And so we would say @ Goon, and that's going to bring it up here to where we can actually select his, and you can type your message, push enter, and he's going to get a notification that someone has sent him a message. The same, you can do that with Boss Mom, you can do that with myself, but that's a great way to be able to directly reach out to that person. It doesn't have to just be one of us. If you're wanting to reach out to, let's say, Jason O, you would do the same process here where we put @ and we would start typing his name. It's going to be suggested, and you can select his name. You can go ahead and do a couple people. So if you're asking, you've noticed a conversation further up and you would like to include both multiple people, you can just @ multiple people there. When you hit enter again, it's going to send them a notification that they have a message to check in. So that's an easy way to do it. You also can reply directly to a message. So if you want to reply to Jason here, since he is the most recent, you would go ahead and push reply here, and that's going to already tag him here. And so as you type out your message, he's already going to be receiving that message. And you can see here that you can go ahead and add different features, whether it be a picture or a listing. But that kind of gives you some information on how to do that. And again, you can react to emojis here if you're wanting to react to a previous conversation that other people may be having. So that kind of gives you an overview of how to interact with different folks within a particular conversation. But as you can see in this conversation or in this channel, channel, there's been all kinds of different information shared. Some is about collections and information related to how to maybe post your particular collection. Also, some different information about different marketplaces. So how to find out information about Foundation or some different features within OpenSea. All of that ends up being information that's discussed here in the newbie channel. And we also, with our Get Help, we have, like I mentioned before, well, this is our NFT glossary and our NFT in FAQs. In our glossary, our goal is to have all different terms that you may hear along the way, whether you see it on Twitter, whether you see it in other Discord channels, but a way to come in and just kind of review some of that that lingo that you may be hearing or reading, and be able to find kind of a resource to explain that. So, and again, this is something, if you see something here and you still have some questions, hop on over to Newbie Help and say, hey, I think I'm kind of understanding this, but can anybody help me out?
We are always updating it, so sometimes I don't want to say we're a little behind, because we're not, but as we're learning new stuff, it is getting updated as well.
Absolutely. And the same with our NFT FAQs. This is intended for helping people as they're navigating the space as well. So there are some things that once you're probably a couple days in, it's just like old hat, like whitelisting and all that, but still there could be some things that are a little foreign as you're getting started. And so this is going to kind of go over things like gas fees, how about different wallets, why you might want to do different wallets. So some of it is is more on the superficial, the very basic level, and then there's also some FAQs that might go ahead and discuss some of the more advanced. This is a great space to kind of spend some time because, as you're getting started, there's things that kind of do help to learn more about before you jump in or ape in. But, depending on what your experience is with crypto related to then NFTs, and then as you're purchasing your NFTs, what you want to do when you want to go to sell, because you for all of us that have experienced it, you learn along the way, there can be additional time required, there can be additional fees required, and so the goal here is to kind of help set you up to where you can learn all of that process before you're learning it in real time.
Yep. That was definitely, like we said, we're learning more and more. So I actually have to go in there and update this, because now I have a new one. I got asked after I did it. We spoke earlier in this video about me making my first sell.
Yep.
And you have to pay a one-time higher gas fee. And everyone was like, oh, do I have to pay that every time? I'm like, you know what? That's a great question to add in the FAQs, because I didn't know that either. So,
yep. As that is the goal again, is that this can be a place you can come and do that research. And then also, if there's questions along the way as we're learning from community members, or if you want to suggest something that you think would be helpful, please reach out to one of us and we will get that information added. This next section here, the category here is feedback AMA, and I mentioned earlier we've held a couple artist feedback AMAs, and this is a time where we meet together live. For both of them, we've been very fortunate that Mike Schmidt, who is an active MetaJungle Discord member and also an award-winning photographer, has hosted these events, and so the process has been that artists could go ahead and post work and questions that they may have here in the feedback AMA submissions. And so when that happens, they'll post a particular collection that they may have some questions about or looking for advice. We ask that if you are wanting to participate, you would go ahead and post the collection with links that you would like to have reviewed, and then also specific questions that you may like to have answered. And then the way this process works is Mike spends time going through these in advance. Typically, we've been able to pick between 5 to probably 9 submissions to review live. And so what we do then is we come over into we have a voice channel set up to where we come into the feedback AMA, and we're able to hold conversations in live time. So then Mike is going to be sharing feedback live in to the members that are participating. But it's also really cool because we're able to record that and go back in. And if you're not able to attend the live session, you can see and receive all the information that was discussed within. But a lot of the information, and that's actually going to be recorded here. This shows you that these are the two recordings that we have so far for the two artist feedback AMA sessions that we've held. They end up being about a 2-hour session, but the information is so helpful, and it's relevant for the artists in particular that we're reviewing. But as we encourage you to go back in and listen to these, and it's also so helpful for just the community in general. Anybody that, from the collector side, I've learned a lot of information, but also for the community and for artists, I think it's very, very helpful as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists that will come back in after, and even if they've watched the recordings of it they'll be like, hey, we actually watched this. We made some changes to our collections. We'd like you to go over these if you don't mind, or with the changes that they've made that we talked about, even though we weren't necessarily talking about their collection in particular. So that's been really cool to see how well received the artist feedback AMAs have been.
Absolutely. And so some of the information that we really focus on is it's relevant to descriptions for your particular collection. So both for that particular piece and for the collection itself. So things about, making sure you're telling a story about that particular piece, that you're including information about whether it's a one of one, what type of medium was used to produce it, and also what the collection size is going to be. We've talked a lot in the most recent episode about how to categorize your particular collection to where it's going to be in a concise format. So how many pieces to put into your collection, how many is overkill, and then also just how to have that really fine eye to edit down your collection so a collector is going to be seeing seeing unique things that are exciting. Mm-hmm. So really great discussion. Encourage everybody to check this out if they haven't. We will be holding another one very soon, so be watching the announcement channel because that is where that information is shared. As we come down here a little bit further, this is going to be our NFT section, and this is a great place to go ahead and hop into. Initially, this is our general chat channel, and so as you come into the server, daily, hourly, however you'd like to visit, this is our general chat channel that, as you can tell, this is where the community kind of comes together and just shares information that's relevant just to the community in general. So lots of GMs and G Nights shared here, and you can tell today has been pretty lively with just getting started for the day and talking about traveling to different locations, sharing different significant things that might be happening with folks. So we get to see, this is Killian's family here. And this is Boss Mom and her little one.
Yeah, that's my little guy.
Very cute. So again, a great place to come in and just see what people are up to today. And then also, Mustafa sharing that he has another wallpaper giveaway in the one-to-one photographers. This is a great example too because he did a great job of putting a link to another channel right here in his comment. And as an example to do that, you can go ahead and you would be selecting the pound symbol, and then it's going to give you an option of different channels that are within the server. So you can select one of those, and that's going to let people directly link over when they click on that. So that's another helpful feature for sure. And so this, again, this is where you'll want to come when you hop in. And if you're new to a server, come on in and let people know, hey, I'm new here, and just want to stop in and say hello. It's a great way to start getting kind of invited into the community and meet some friends. So yeah.
Yep, we've had a lot of new members today, and that's something that all of them have actually commented on. They're like, wow, this is a lot of welcomes, because it's like you see one like, hey, I'm new here, and then you see, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Welcome, welcome. And it's really fun. It's really inviting, especially if you are new to Discord or new to the space, to have so many people come in and say hi, and if you need anything, just let them know. So it's really rewarding.
I agree. And I do want to encourage people, don't be shy, because sometimes, people come in and they're like, well, I don't really know where to get started. When you come into a new server, come right into the general chat. You'll note they maybe name something slightly different, but it should be pretty easy to tell that it's a chat channel. And just say hello and good morning. And this is where I check in every day. Pretty much every time I come into the server, this is where I'm going to check and see what's been happening. Also, as we know, the NFT space is 24/7, so people are going to come in at all different times of the night and share different information. So it's fun to see what's gone on, either while we've been working on something or maybe sleeping a little bit here and there. And it's also really fun too. Like Ode to My Life, yesterday was an exciting day. She went ahead and actually posted her Genesis collection. So there's been a lot of conversation in here as far as encouragement and congratulations for her. So it's fun to see a member of the community. She came in early on. She hadn't minted any artwork, but has been an artist for some time. And she's done a really great job of using the different resources within MetaJungle to learn about how to write her descriptions for her artwork, and then also how many pieces to put into her collection. She's just done a really great job of curating her collection, and I know as of this morning, out of her 10 Genesis pieces, she had already sold 4. So it's so exciting to see people have success like that. It's really, really, really rewarding just to get to be a part of the journey and see people creating their work, learning more about them, and also, of course, seeing them succeed. So,
well, another fun thing about Ode to My Life is she was actually one of the first artists that we went over in the artist feedback AMA, and she actually hadn't had her collection out yet. And she took that, and it was so fun to see kind of what she started with, like just the rough draft of her collection form into what it is now, because it really is a great collection.
Absolutely. So then we'll also jump over where and look at our next one on the list. Again, this is our general chat channel. Next, we're going to have gaming NFTs. So we do have a lot of art-focused information and conversations that happen in MetaJungle, but we are also a server that's open to all different kinds of interest in the NFT space. And so this is a channel that we have set up for those that are interested in gaming NFTs, which we know is a really popular resource or popular subject matter in NFTs, and a lot of people do go ahead and get involved with the different ones. I think it's a very growing part of the NFT space. So if that's something of interest to you, hop on over, and you're welcome to have any conversations here. See if there's other people interested in the games that you might be or have new information for you. And similar to that, we also have our physical collectible NFTs. So this is another element of the NFT space that is growing very quickly. And we had Kyle visit us on our last episode, who is spending a lot of time in this channel as well. But this is going to be NFTs related to actual physical items. So sports memorabilia, physical assets. So if that's something that you either are excited about and active in, or you're wanting to learn more about, this is the spot for you.
As you can see, I'm starting to dive a little deeper into it. So I've been using this channel a lot and picking Kyle's brain.
And which is a great resource, huh?
Oh, very much so. I've learned a lot from him.
And then these here are set up to where artists are able to share their information. So with our 3D artists, this is specifically for people that are developing content that would be three-dimensional. So it can share different artwork. As you're doing this, we do encourage you to write any description or story you would like to. It's great when you actually include a link to the description, because I know I spend a lot of time reading the information connected to the different collections, and that just gives you another resource of learning more about the piece. But it also, if people are asking for feedback, it lets you kind of be able to go through and learn a lot more about what they're doing. And so then also other artists will spend time going through and commenting and sharing. So this is a similar setup to where this is our one-of-one photography. And so with this, you're going to be, anyone that is a one-of-one photographer can post their information here. They may just be announcing something about a collection, letting people know that it's available, or also announcing particular details. It may be a new collection. They also might be asking for feedback. And so all of those options are available. You can tell here that different pieces are being shown and different feedback. So great photo, congrats. It's really fun because some photographs are shared by people that are in similar areas. So you may see that conversation back and forth as they're sharing details about their experiences visiting the same places. You basically feel like you've traveled around the world by spending time in this particular channel.
Yes.
I know I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. It's something that, like, earlier today, I was talking to Killen. He's going to Ireland. I'm like, I'd really like to go there. And then I got tagged in a one-on-one photographer, and they were sharing, or I got tagged in the one-on-one photography channel, and they were sharing this breathtaking photo of Ireland. They're like, hey, I saw that you wanted to visit. Like, just wanted to share this with you. I was like, oh, makes me jealous, but I love it. Like, it's so great. You do almost get to visit all different areas in one channel, which is super cool.
Absolutely. And so, again, a lot of times you will find where the image is related to then the link to the collection, which is great because you can connect on over and be able to see the details about that particular collection. So the different pieces here, you can then collect on that particular image, be able to see the description and just all the details. And of course, if you're ready to make a purchase, you can go ahead and do that from here as well. But then you can, of course, go back into the conversation here and see what everybody is up to. This is a fun feature. Mustafa has done this periodically where he creates a wallpaper giveaway for our community. So you're able to download this and use it on any of your digital devices that you would like. So one of his beautiful pieces that then you're able to put into your everyday life. So a fun little feature there. There's also plenty of times where people are connecting to Twitter posts that they may have. So that's a great thing, too, to be able to link outside of Discord with our community members and offer support there. Very much like the digital photographer, about the photographer one-of-one, this is for digital artists for one-of-ones. So very similar, able to share artwork. May just be talking about the particular collection and sharing additional details, and then also that opportunity to be able to go into further discussion.
Yep. That's where I like to spend a lot of time in the digital artist channel. I think it's so cool how people can draw this on their iPads or their computers and things like that. So I like to go in and see all the new fun pictures, creations that they have.
Yep, absolutely. Like this is a new drop, and it's going to be specifically for Christmas. So if you have anything like that you'd like to share with the community and you're a one-of-one digital artist, this is the place to do that. We also have our Gen Art show-off. So this is for different generative projects to be able to share that information here. And so a great way to learn and also give updates about collections if you were selling pieces, if there's different things that are relevant there. And then this is a great channel too, because this is a one-of-one, what have you bought? So if you are collecting one-of-one artwork, it's really fun to see what people are buying, what collections might be relevant to them. It's a great way to also learn about artists that you may want to be a collector of or that you didn't know of before. So usually this pertains to people within the MetaJungle community. I love seeing how often artists, as they sell pieces, they're also buying other artists' pieces. So really a way to support the whole NFT community and give back. Just like this post here by Russ Images, that he bought his first NFT. And so it's really fun to see people gaining that, that both sides create the enjoyment of creating their work, but also supporting other artists in the space by collecting their artwork too.
And they get so excited over it. Like, that's my favorite part. Like, they sit there and they're like, oh, we sold another piece, so I'm going to go buy this piece. And I'm like, that's so exciting. Like, that's so wonderful. How many communities can you find that in?
Just full circle.
Exactly. I love it.
And again, you then learn about other artists that you may not have known about before that might be outside of the space. This is a piece that I was happy to buy over the weekend that I bought from Brandon. This piece I just absolutely love, but it's also was the end of his series. So happy to be a collector of his artwork. And then we also shared an artist named Hannah. She had a new collection posting this weekend, and so several of us purchased out in her collection. This is Alpha's purchase of Ode to Life's collection. So he was one of the 4 people that have already purchased hers. Absolutely love this image. He's lucky he got to it before I did. That's all I have to say. I tell you, if you're going to beat Alpha, you better be quick. This is also Mustafa purchased and one of Hannah's. These are the 2 I purchased of her artwork. And then we also, can discuss back and forth just a little bit about purchases, learn a little bit about it. This is one that was purchased of Tristan's work, who's one of our MetaJungle Discord members as well. So just really, again, really fun to see what has been being collected. So the previous channels kind of let you see what's available. This kind of lets you see what people are buying and interested in. So definitely a cool one to check out. And so that kind of shows you what we have in our NFT chat. Now we know there is a little bit more to that in the whole space. So this is where we have some of our resources that are available. So with our help category, we try and offer some stuff, lend some resources for those that may be new to the space. This is similar where we have some different resources available. This is a mint calendar. As we know, it can be so challenging to keep up in the space with all of the different projects that are coming online on a regular basis. And so this is set up to where you can come in and check. Believe it or not, these are all happening in one day, but all of the you'll be able to find different projects that are coming online and minting. This is our new rarity collection. So as different collections are coming online and being where you can check the rarity of a collection, that information will be available here, which is helpful as you're collecting. So for instance, I mentioned in the wallet update that I purchased Alpha Girls, and so went in and checked rarities, and it's always surprising that sometimes the images you really like and are aesthetic may not be quite the same rarity, and so I found that I actually ended up minting number 320, which is really exciting.
That is so exciting.
So out of my 5 that I minted, there were different ones. Of course, several were in the 4,000s, 5,000, 6,000, but that one was one I was really surprised about. So,
that's awesome.
updating on rarity is always a really fun thing to find out about your collections, and that's once you mint them or you're looking at the secondary, it really helps you make that decision as to maybe ones that you should be purchasing. So this is a good resource for that. This is for project invites, and so with our team, with our MetaJungle team, as there's projects that we're learning about or finding out about, we will be posting invites to those other servers here in this one. So if you're looking for a new project to get started in, or wanting to kind of know about what's in the market, this is a good place to check because there'll be different links to different other Discord servers here.
Yep.
So new projects happening all the time, as we know.
Yep, I like to go in there and share the ones I find. People might find it useful, they might not, but at least I shared it with you guys.
Yep, exactly. Well, and you do a good job picking different projects, I have to say. So
Thank you. I spend a lot of time researching them. That's like when I go home from work, I sit there and I research, and then I just enjoy it. I like deep diving into them.
Me too. And this is a channel that helps watch what whales are doing. So a lot of you may know, but in the NFT space, a whale is one of the big players, someone that's buying a lot. So this is an update that tells you what different whales are purchasing for their wallet. Well, I should say they're either buying or they're selling. So it might give you an idea of a project that you might want to jump into. It's a great way to learn too about other projects because you may see things coming up that you didn't even know were out there and available. So this is a place I like to come a lot to see what whales might be minting, what they might be purchasing. And then it also might be an indication of movement within a project if they're selling. Because a lot of times, if they're purchasing a project, they may be minting in the hundreds instead of a few, they may be minting a few hundred. And so if they're selling off in large quantities, it's not necessarily that there's something negative about the collection, but it may be something that reflects how the floor price is going to be affected. Or if they're buying up a collection that's already minted, it will give you some information about, that the floor price might be going up quite a bit. So different ways to kind of take that information and indicate whether it's something you should be getting involved in or not.
Agreed.
So a good resource to watch. Also with the mentioning selling, our NFT marketplace is set up here to where if you have something that you would like to sell, we have it categorized by price. And then also something that's super rare, something that's selling under floor, or we also have something set up that you can put out a note and a message if you're wanting to buy something. So if you're looking to get started in something in a particular classification of an NFT, or if you are looking for a certain rarity, lots of options here, but that's what that is set up for. So if you have a piece that you're selling, it may be something that you've created, or it could be just something in your collection that you have listed for sale that you would like the community to know is available. You're welcome to share that information here. Of course, I would highly encourage if you're to put a link to wherever they can find that item, but you could give any detail that you wanted to. A lot of these are examples of artists that are sharing their artwork that are for sale. So if you know what your budget is, this is a great place to be able to come and see a lot of options in that particular budget item. But it doesn't have to be limited to artwork that you may have for sale. It could also be like a generative art project. So if I wanted to sell my Alpha Girl, I could list her ranking. She's a 320 ranking, so that and kind of explain maybe why your pricing is what it is. Yep. But a lot of options for being able to let the community know that you've got this particular piece because they may be in the market for it.
Awesome.
And so, okay. And thank you. Thank you. And so then we also have our 2 to 5 ETH. So same concept, just a different budget price. Then our 5 ETH. So this will be even a little bit higher budget. But that is fantastic and some really great pieces in here, as you can tell. Then, of course, if we have super rare things, so really unique pieces. This is if you're wanting to get rid of something that you might you have priced under floor. So usually that is if you're wanting to move something a little bit quicker than waiting for it. This is a place that you can advertise and share that. And our next section here is going to be our NFT jobs. And this is probably something unique with the MetaJungle server. But again, we want to be a hub where people are able to have resources that might pertain to their particular artwork, but just also generally in the NFT space. And so we have this set up to where this is where you can listen to Boss Mom and she'll tell you all about it. But also this is a space where if you are looking to have someone do something for you, if you're needing an artist or it may be an artist, it may be a developer, it may be someone to help you with a contract. Really, if you have a need and you're looking to connect with someone that you think could provide that resource, this is the space for you to come. So you can share that information. This is a great example. Alpha Trilogy says, I'm wanting to have designed and programmed a fully scalable and operatable art gallery museum for the metaverse. So pretty specific want. And we can see here where Amy Parker actually replied to him and said, hey, why don't we connect and have a further discussion? So if you are looking for help with something, we encourage you to share that information here. And it's a great way to be able to connect with other members of the community. And again, this is about the opposite. If you have special skills, if you're a developer, if you're wanting to offer something to the community, this is the place to be able to do so. Again, Boss Mom is happy to tell you all about it. But if you have something particular that you're offering, this is a place to let us all know about it. And then this is collab opportunities. So if there's something that you're wanting to connect with other artists or other members of the community to do a project together or be able to work together in any capacity, this is a great place to have that conversation. This is where we came upon, Russ's offer to the community recently to help with any video editing or gift services, which is awesome. We appreciate that people in the community are willing to help each other out. I know that Mike Schmidt took Russ up on this offer, and his collection looks just awesome. The pieces that he put together looks great on Twitter. So I encourage, if there's other members of the community that would like to have that created for them to be able to show their work in a different way, please reach out to Russ. Also, there's other places here where different people have reached out to one another.
This is also probably a really good time to do a PSA. Russ actually reached out to me asking where he should put his offer out. So if you have any questions also about which channel you should be posting in, please reach out to any of us. We are more than happy to help.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, that can be an @BossMom99 if you're trying to reach her. And again, you're welcome to reach out to me as well. Goon, any of us can help you with that information, but that if you're looking for it, you'll be typing in @ and it'll give you the option to select one of us. Yep. And then here, this is our Shillers and Hype. So if you're looking to sell your artwork, this is where you can share that information. Happy to see that Russ sold that one. But this can be your artwork, but it also may be projects that you're related to, something that you're excited about or passionate about. This is the space for that. So if you're involved in a particular project that might be minting soon, and you're like, hey, you guys may want to get behind this, this is the spot to share that information.
Yep. Awesome.
And then we also have this great resource here where you can connect with other members of the MetaJungle. So this is how we can follow each other on Twitter. So if you would like to connect both with MetaJungle and also the admin team and also fellow MetaJungle members, please share your information here. That way we can connect on Twitter and be sure that we're keeping up with each other.
It's something I see a lot of. We have more and more members join or following fellow members, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then this too is where this can help us stay up to date on your most recent Twitter posts. So especially for our artists, if you would like to share recent information that you've shared on Twitter, please go ahead and post that here. This is also a resource that we use a lot as we're updating the MetaJungle Twitter, to where we're sharing that information through the MetaJungle Twitter as well.
Yep, I know that this gets checked almost or every day, if not almost every day. I've already went through it like 4 times this morning alone, so.
Yep, we definitely like to support the members of the community, and this is a really fun way of sharing information that they may have that they're sharing with the community, that we can even make that a bigger impact for them. Yep. And so that kind of wraps up the different opportunities, the different resources that we have available right now within the MetaJungle server.
Yep. I know one that we didn't quite reach on.
You are right.
Is the artist spotlight, which is up in the chat channels, right? NFT talk.
This is going to be in the NFT chat channel.
Yes.
I'm sorry, NFT talk channel here. It's in the category NFT talk, but it's one of the channels here, and this is going to be our artist spotlight.
Yeah. We're still
Silly
learning
mouse.
too. We just now are getting a hold of all the Discord lingo that we need to know. So, but the artist spotlight is actually something that we've started doing. We told you, or I mentioned last week about the initiative I'm taking to put artists in front of collectors more and more. Try to kind of help out with that, and we're asking for you to help us create a bio, send us a video, everything, which if you are interested in, please reach out to me so I can get that your way. But this is where we post it on our MetaJungle Discord. So Anya was the first one that I actually did. She created...
Include a video.
Yes. She created a fantastic video, sent it to us. We put it in here. I think we shared it on Twitter as well. Mm-hmm. And we have plans to share it on our website as well once that happens. Mm-hmm. And then Tyler is also a really great one who did the same thing. He shared a really great video that he created showcasing himself, his artwork. So it's been really fun to learn about these artists and to see their creative side come out. But on top of that, also, like, I know that I have some video editing skills, and some other members of the MetaJungle Discord does too. So if you do need help, if you are interested in creating a bio, creating a video, and you need help, please reach out, because I would be more than happy to help you.
Yep, and so in the effort of connecting artists with collectors, which is a big goal that we have, this is a great resource for an artist to be able to have a representation of who they are. So a collector can, start to build that relationship and that understanding. So it's been a really fun effort to work on.
Yes.
And you'll find here, this is the link specifically to the video that you can watch. And then this is also going to link to their link tree, so you can find out how to connect with that particular artist and find out about collections that they have and all those good details there. So
Yes, it's been a project that I've really enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing how it grows.
absolutely. And so there isn't any limit to those that we are wanting to include. So please, if it's something you're interested in, get in touch with Boss Mom and let's get those put together.
Yes, please do.
And so we hope that this has been a helpful experience. Some of the other little details that you might find relevant, if you've enjoyed MetaJungle Discord very much and you'd like to share that information with your friends, you can create an invite for the channel. So you would go ahead and come up here to where it says MetaJungle, select that option and invite people. And this is going to let you get a link to go ahead. You copy this and you can post it on Twitter. You can send it on message, however you would like to do that, to bring other people into the server, which again, you guys are welcome to invite more friends in. We love having more people in the community. This up here across the top is going to also give you some other information. If there's any threads happening within the server, this is where you can select on that. Any pinned messages that the server might have, this is where you're going to find that information. This is also a great spot to check into, which is going to have different updates for you throughout all the servers in your that you may be following. So it's a great way that if you are seeing your notifications, this is where you can actually come. So before we had checked the announcements, you would have seen the MetaJungle announcement show up here. So it's whether they have gone ahead and added everyone or just you specifically. It's a great way to kind of check up and see where that information is.
Yeah, and that's a really great thing. Some of these look a little different on mobile compared to desktop. So we just wanted to go ahead and take the minute just to show you what that looks like as well. So if you come on to your Discord, you'll swipe. It'll come up on whichever channel you were last on. If you just swipe to the left, it will pull up all your messages, your servers that you're on, and then this also gives you access to each category and channel, that's where you'll go and pick. So for example, we just talked about we were talking about the general chat, and it looks like I have a mention, so I'll go there. But then if you swipe to the right, that's where you're going to get your threads, your pins, your notifications, your settings. And then another really great thing to know about this that I actually didn't know at first is that if you're looking for your mentions here, if you click the little @ button at the bottom, that's where all your mentions will pop up. So that's a really great thing. It looks a little different on mobile than desktop, but we just thought we would take the time to show you that as well.
Yep. I think a lot of our members end up using the mobile version. I know I use mobile version 99% of the time because, like everybody, we're kind of on the go.
Yep.
So, but really, once you get the features down, they do work very similar to one another.
Yeah, that was something I was pleasantly surprised with. I kind of started on mobile, and then I moved over to desktop a little bit, and I use desktop more now than mobile, but so far it's been an easy transition. So that's a nice bonus, is that it's not crazy different on the mobile and desktop versions.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And really you find which one works best for you and kind of run with it. So
Exactly.
So I think that kind of wraps up the tour of the MetaJungle Discord, huh?
A great tour indeed. I actually even learned some stuff today that I didn't quite know before, so it's really great. It shows that this really is for new users or veteran users.
Yep, and really again, we want it to be a hub for everybody to come together, and sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you find out that you didn't know it. So
Exactly.
but we want to be a welcoming community. So hop in, say hello, let us know what's going on with you, and yeah, we'll navigate this crazy jungle together.
Yeah, we look forward to chatting with you all, meeting you all.
Yep, and just as a reminder, we do have the class with Mustafa this week that we're really excited about. So if you are at all interested in astrophotography, we're going to be starting off on the basic level to where even you can learn some skills that are applicable even with your phone, and then also learn about some equipment that as a beginner might be relevant for you all the way up to professionals. So super excited. Again, this will be Thursday. We're holding the class in the Discord channel at 10 o'clock. It'll be 10 a.m. Central Time, so you can kind of then figure out what that is for you. But we do try and set these up to where, even though it may be really early in some spots or really late in other spots, that hopefully we can catch the biggest part of our community to where they're not actually sleeping, but we will be recording, so you will have an opportunity to visit the class again on another time. Also, we will have another AMA coming up soon, so please stay tuned for that.
Awesome. I'm excited to what all we have coming up.
Yep. So thank you guys again for your time today. We hope this was helpful. Discord is definitely an integral part of the NFT journey. So please let us know if you have additional questions, and we can't wait to see you guys again for next week.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye.